Where'd mine go?
What?
Ay, ay, ay. Where'd mine go?
I don't know, but that was funny.
Hello, everybody. We are here. As you can see, if it's not AI, this is live. This is John Zidar, and this is my co-host, Taylor. Hello, Taylor.
Hi. Going well.
Great to have you here. All right, folks, as you can see, we have got some tickers already lined up here. If you're here, you can see over there in our comments. Let's see who we got here today. Big Money Grips, early. Yes, Kashira, early as well. I think we're going to get to both yours today, Kashira. Lucky you. Underdog, thank you for showing up. Yeah, we got yours too. Belmore, we figured it out. Got it. It's up there. Jerome. Jerome, I owe you, man. And you ask about a good stock, except there's really not a lot to say about the businesses, the companies right now. We're still in a standstill on what's happening, but the chart has room to be talked about. So we are going to get into that more than usual. Yeah, I see you got it up there twice, Jerome. We got it. And that's it for now. Oh, boy. And we got somebody new here. This Boomars uranium stocks. Yes, I just threw up a piece of news. I seen one company acquired a uranium company today, and then someone else got approval. So yeah, uranium is one of the best, cleanest, greenest energies we have in the world. Nothing tops it. That's where we get most of our energy from, though it does have a danger factor. For the most part, we do have that under control unless Mother Nature comes around like Japan. Then we've got problems. All right, enough of the jibber jabber. Let's jump on over to this. Really? Well, Jack isn't what I want. And where did my page go?
It's gone. I don't know.
I know, that's what I said. Where'd mine go? Yeah, okay. Show what is
I don't
going
have
on
the
here.
power to remove it, so I don't know.
I am trying to bring it up, folks. Having a little wee bit of a problem here. Ta-da! Thank you very much. Okay. So we're going to start with the very first one I got. This came from the Grip, I believe it was. Big Grip. This is PMBHF Pharmala Biotech Holdings. Finished today at 12 cents with 4% drop today. Middle tier of the OTC, so we are getting audited financials. We've got one of those pieces of validated information, a verified profile, which is good. Transfer agent verified. You'd be amazed how important a transfer agent is. Now, I've not seen a whole lot of problems come up because they haven't got that ticked, but it's a real important thing. Independent directors, this tells us that they have true aspirations of wanting to uplist. They just don't put it over here because they're thinking about it. They have to have filed it somewhere. It's listed somewhere. So you can look around to find that. So let's first see what this company is about. Oh, right. The company is a biotechnology company that is focused on research with MDMA. We're talking ecstasy, folks. Yes, this is all MDMA is. MDMA came out in the 60s and then it resurfaced in the 90s, I think, as ecstasy. And it's been around. And now we are creating what I'm not going to call them drugs. It's already what it is. They're not changing it. They're just showing that it has applicable use now, that we can actually heal ourselves. Well, heck, why do you think most people have been doing these things? Because it did make them feel better one way or another. Duh. Pharmala is the first publicly traded company to manufacture clinical grade MDMA. God almighty. And they got a license to do it. Not going to say I used to know people that did it illegally, but there was lots of them doing this. So let's see what we've got going on here. Let's check out information I've got picked out already. That's the news. We already got the news. All right, this came out November 15th. I did want to show you the news just so you could see what was going on here. Pharma molecule receives U.S. patent prosecution highway acceptance. I'm not sure what that's about. I see they've gotten the patent has been received. I don't know if it's actually been approved yet. Audited financials. Oh, yeah. Pharma Biotech and Filament Health announced release of second batch, which is what I was just showing you here. Filament Health is another cannabis CBD company, and they're on the market too, ticker FLHLF. They've been working together here for a while. This is since November. They made a second batch for their trials. They're not actually marketing this yet. It's going through trials, and they got to keep making batches up so that they can use it. Let me see. Anything else I got here? We've got no filings over here except their financials. Let's take a look at the relative volume. We've got an increase there, going over 100%, 150%, jumping from a mere 13,000 to 30,000 shares. Share structure, that's not bad. 86, 87 million. Don't know what the float is? Sure we do. I normally don't pay attention to this down here because it's normally really outdated. I mean, years. So what's the point? Well, that's not outdated. That's just a week ago. They say it's 81 million, 82. So we're going to buy that. Financials for the company. They've got 2 years here. 59,000. It's 3 zeros up there. You got to add to any of these numbers. Jumping all the way up to 393,000. And that hardly cost them anything. 57,000. They got to keep most of that money. Quarterlies, well, isn't that strange? Every other quarter they're reporting, and they're on the QB. I'm not quite sure what that's about, but you can see the jumps in volume and revenues: 5,000, 68, 324. Balance sheet, they got some money in the bank, 144,000, 1.7 in assets, and not much liabilities, 760,000. So we've actually got stockholder equity here. We're not holding a bag. $1 million. And I think we've already covered everything else. So basically, that's what we got going on here. You've got a company that is working with MDMA, and the most recent news is that they have applied, receives U.S. patent. Let's take a quick look in here because that
When was that? Was that just like last week or something?
Yep, January 8th.
Okay.
You see a bounce on the chart, huh? Let's see. I don't see anything extra here that's jumping out at me. Normally, I look for numbers, for dates, dollar signs. Those pop out real easy. I don't see anything like that here. So let's take a look at the chart now for PMBHF, Pharma Biotech.
Okay. Looked like that was on January 10th, and that was here. So it did have a lot more volume, as you can see. So whenever that came out, that piece of news. So this is the daily chart, and this is all it is. This is obviously brand new. This is it. This is daily.
So when did that come on the market? What's our first day?
It looks like May 18th, but when I switch to Heikenashi's, it will skip days, as you can see. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, not really sure. The first day about May. So she's been around for less than a year.
Yeah, so there's not much. So I dropped it down to the 4 hour. There's really not much to go on, but this that day that you talked about,
the 8th.
Huh?
The 8th.
The 8th. Oh, I thought it was the 10th. So January 10th, we did have, it opened, but closed, lower. So that was actually a red day. So it was kind of like buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing. There was a lot of selling volume.
She is breaking out. I mean, she's gotten over the 50, no 200 yet. She isn't selling that many shares.
The daily chart looks really nice. So it's almost like a bull flag right here. This looks really good.
What's the 1 hour look like, though?
Yeah.
The 1 hour should be way up there now.
So this
she's
is
actually,
what
that was a bad drop on that day, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
That was a huge bottom out. That was a buying opportunity.
Yeah, this is December 28th. That day was the January 10th, I believe, unless I'm wrong. So it hit a low of 10 cents. Now we're at 12 cents. I mean, that's a 20% gain from that day, though. I mean, it's not bad.
No,
but I mean, this is what we're looking at. I mean, we do kind of see this little flag here. This could be some consolidation to continue to go up. But we really don't have that much data and this looks so scattered. It looks just all over the place.
And I don't like your oscillators.
I don't even look at them. These have not been like calibrated or whatever in such a long time. Don't even worry about those right now.
Calibrated.
Not, like I have not adjusted them in a while. And it's actually really hard to see what's going on when you don't have a long 200 EMA or MA or whatever.
Well, you got to remember, if we don't have it, nobody has it. So nobody's looking for it. So you got to look at what we do have. And really, your day traders are only going to be looking back maybe an hour. I mean, yeah, the long picture's fine, but we are really concerned with where it's going, where it's been. Unless you're looking for supports and resistances, it's really about the momentum in the next few days. And what's that? 15 minutes. That doesn't look
this is a
bad.
15-minute. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't look hot, but with a lot of volatility, she is working her way up. Those are some huge bounces.
Now, this big, scary red bar, I'm not sure if this is related to this, but this was right around the time of this earnings that was supposed to come out. I don't think they didn't announce anything because it's grayed out. So I'm not sure if that had anything to do with it, but it could. I don't know.
Right.
Because there's nothing to see. It doesn't say anything. There's no information. But yeah, I mean, I like it better on the daily. It looks a lot better to me. Some of these, like, and don't even try to look at regular candles because you're not going to be able to see anything, especially when like this is what you're going to see on regular candles. You're not going to be able to see what in the world is going on. So you're going to have Heikenashis on, even if you don't like them, which I don't, but.
Yeah, and what that tells you, when you turn off your Heikenashis, that's the spread that bounced from this little line to that line up there. Boink, there was no travel. It just went there and came back down, which tells you low volume normally gets high spreads between your ask and your bid. And it looks like it's moving, and it isn't. It's just bouncing.
Yeah, and some of these days, this is the candle right here, this little tiny dot. I mean, that's it. It's just like a line, and they don't even show up. So, yeah, just be careful looking at this because it's extremely low volume, but it does look like it has some potential. There's not a lot of data to really show. I mean, unless you drop it down to 15 minutes.
She is in the zone of considering a purchase if you like this sort of thing. MDMA is going to be one of those psychedelic drugs that is going to help with a lot of psychological problems in the future. We are looking at acid. We are looking at MDMA. We are looking at ketamine because the drugs we're using now really isn't helping. The side effects on top of the repair is just making things worse. And psychologists and psychiatrists, it takes too many decades to try to solve these problems. So if these drugs are actually showing applications that work, they are going to make lots of money. You think the drug companies are making big bucks? These have no side effects. These are pro drugs. They get into your system and then they wear out and they're gone. And they do what they do, and that's it. This could be huge. This could be an excellent time to consider it. So do some more due diligence.
Yeah, the chart, there's really, I don't really see anything that's like excellent or terrible, but I do like the concept behind it. If this is something you're interested in, definitely keep an eye on this because they might, one of these earnings, they might actually have something, and that could be a catalyst. So just keep an eye on that.
We're going to move on into the next spot.
Move on. Next.
This one is better.
Yeah, this one's better.
You like that, huh? All right, we are looking at toner. I think you guys are going to be able to see my notes here. No, you can't see my notes. Okay.
Yes.
I've got some notes here just to make sure I don't miss anything. We don't have any fresh catalysts on this, but as you're going to see, there has been a huge jump in volume. And there are a couple reasons for that. So toner today, Toner One World Holdings finished at 0005. My cutoff for 000 stocks, and she went up 11.11%. She went up, well, just a very smidge, just real small. She's on the pink. She's current. She's got both of those verified pieces of information. That's good. That's what you want to see. And they tell us she's a shell risk, that she's not making any money. Now, no, I didn't want to go there. All right, we're going to check all that out. But I wanted you to see here something that, let me see, Toner World Holdings unveils game-changing. All right, let's go through the news here because this is definitely what's going on. I have not been keeping up with this company. Toner One World Holdings unveils game-changing automated trading technology. Trade Score and Extreme Trading Robot. Now I remember. Toner One Inc. and Blizz IQ joined forces to launch global marketing campaign for Trade Score indicators and Trade Score trading robot. That was September. This one was November. This is the end of November. Hey, Maddie, buy 100 shares of Tesla. Toner One World embarks on development of the first ever ChatGPT powered virtual human interface for popular market trading platforms. This is when I talked about it. This is AI that is in beta stage. It is just learning, and it doesn't take long for these guys to learn. They teach themselves, and they become your assistant trading. While you're doing something, they're watching something. They're searching for something. They're accumulating information. Who knows what they're going to be able to do, but it's rather exciting, especially for a guy like me that does so much due diligence. I could use as an assistant. I could use a team because there's a lot more stocks out there than I could possibly look at. And then the most recent piece of news came out just a little over a week ago. Oh, interesting. The company chooses Soul Machines as the virtual human technology partner for Maddie. It's virtual trading assistant for MetaTrader. So now you're going to see a person. You're not just texting. You're not just talking. You're going to be looking at a real person. And it looks real. It sounds real, but it's all fabricated. Just do anything on Google about AI facial expressions or deep fakes or anything like that, and you will see. You can't tell the difference. They've got pictures of leaders and celebrities, and you can't tell the difference.
That's scary.
Yeah, it is, because false news presses could come out. You know, somebody could hack your TV and have the president tell you something that isn't true, which I think I think something was done with Elon Musk, a fake, what was done. An interview guy who was talking to someone, a fake interview was done. That's what it was. Elon Musk and the interviewer were both fake. Both.
That is messed up.
Yes, it is.
Is it illegal, though? How illegal is that?
Well, laws haven't been made for it yet. And that's it. It's like designer drugs. If there's not a law specifically about that drug, it's not illegal.
Got it.
It's like adultery. We all know it's morally wrong, but there's no laws against it. It's not illegal.
Okay.
So what is the catalyst really going on with this company? Because as you can see over here, the volume jumped tremendously, going from 14 million to 388 million. With no new news. The last piece of news came out December 6th. So what is going on? Well, two things are going on. First, right now there is, don't go anywhere. There is a actual interview, a space talk going on Twitter right now with Toner. Hey, I heard the door shut. Cut it out.
What?
Somebody just left. I told him this was going on. I heard the door. Tried to sneak out. But here's the catalyst as far as I can tell. This came out yesterday. We are getting some questions today about a reverse split. As I said previously, no reverse splits, period. Full stop, capital, bold letters. That's it, folks. Now, what is the share structure on this company? That is very reassuring. It's not like they have 328 million shares. We're not worried about a reverse split then. But when you got 7 billion shares outstanding, 6.6 billion shares in the float, yeah, I would not buy this stock. No matter what was going on, unless it was actually moving, I would play a quick in and out because I don't want to get trapped in another reverse split. I've had over 55, 58 reverse splits, and I have lost tens of thousands of dollars. These reverse splits make your average cost so high that to average down, you've got to pour more money in. And it's just a horrible time to be trying to do that. So when they say, they promise, they guarantee, period, they're not going to do a reverse split. Now I feel I can come into this. However, let me say this. There is certain liability that comes with making tweets. These companies just can't say whatever they want. They do have a certain liability, but that is not official. They cannot be held to that. Somebody can sue them for it if they do a reverse split, but it probably wouldn't go anywhere because it's not official. But again, they can't just say whatever they want. There is some liability involved. So, all right, what was the relative volume around the company? We did look at that. Financials. We didn't look at financials. Ooh, we got nothing on the books yearly, nothing on the books quarterly. Nothing here. Look at all these zeros, folks. What is up with that? We have zero assets. How can you have all these things going on and not have a single asset, not have a single penny? I mean, these are all zeros. I'm confused. More due diligence is necessary. But that doesn't stop them from having debt. 10.8 million. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing I know for absolutely sure. The management is not working for free. Whether they have a business or not, they're paying themselves. I assure you of that. And if they aren't doing it in cash, they're doing it in shares, one way or another. But with 10.8 million deficit, liability with no assets, how much of that is going towards their pay? How many people are being paid? It's just worthy of considering, folks, because that just don't look right. All right, let me see what else we got over here. Disclosures, we got anything? I don't think we do, or else I'd have pulled it up. Not since May. Just seeing what they were doing in May. Partners, blah, 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 blah. Phase 3 plan to increase shareholder value over the next several months. Well, there's no shareholder value because we are holding $10 million deficit since May. Now that counts, folks. When they say they're going to do something, you look at the history and then see what happened after they said they were going to do something. Nothing's happened here since May. They're doing all this phase 3 changes. We see all this news. Where is the money? Where are the assets? Where's the bank account? That bothers me, regardless of the rest. Now, I am speaking about investments. As day traders, none of that really matters. None of that matters, folks. All we need is a reason for this stock to run and for the stock to have a hot chart. When we see it's ready to move, when we see a reason for it to move, all the rest of this doesn't matter. People are just in traffic. They're not looking at everything on the sides. They're just moving now. And that's what we're looking for. Momentum. We got a lot of volume, and there seems to be a reason to run. No reverse split. Good enough. Good enough. So let's take a look at that chart. That ain't it.
Whoops, sorry about that. I was muted.
Yes, you were.
Sorry. So we've looked at this twice. That's why I have these dates on here. These were the arrows were. And it was just consolidating in this upper area, I guess, in this upper tier here. So the reason we looked at it is because it had this huge spike in volume around the end of November, and people wanted to see what was going on. And it was just barcoding. But it did hold above 0002, so that was good. And it finally did break out.
Yes, it did.
Started yesterday, so this is finally it. It tried a few days after we talked about it, and we didn't get over this 0004 or 0005, whatever. But now we are. It got up to 0007 today, it looks like. And it when I was watching this while you all were talking earlier, it came all the way back down to here and then comes back up. But this is in between these two. I believe you said one time you can only trade 4 digits, but this is clearly in between. So this is like 00065.
Right. If on the 000s, 0005 is where we would buy. If you see 0055, that is a broker or a marketer. We have to go to the 6. And for anybody who bought at that 55, us going to the 6 is a wee bit of profit for them. But when they buy millions of shares, it adds up.
It does. Yeah, exactly. So it's in the in between right now because this is 0005 and this is 0006. So we did see the breakout finally because, I mean, they're for a very, very long time. And I mean, since April, it was between 0001 and 0002. From April until the end of November, that's all it did. And then we got in this little consolidation zone. It's finally breaking out. So let's go down to the 4-hour, see what that looks like. These are just the dates.
You might as well fly through those because there's just not a lot of difference. Down to
So
15. There we go. A few more bars.
That's the 1 hour. So we'll do this 15-minute.
Oh, we've actually got chart activity now.
Yeah. And we are on this. So, yeah, I mean, it broke out. What can I say besides that? And we're here now. So I think this would be a good
looks
support.
alive. Your volume is now alive.
Mm-hmm.
And though you're not using them, you can see your oscillators down there have a lot more activity than they've had in a long time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You can definitely see the difference. And
all of the SMAs are climbing now. They're not flat pancakes.
Right.
Yeah. So she's coming alive. And I got to say, folks, when a 000, and I say they're born at 0005, that's when they start walking. You know, anything under 0005, it's still in a cradle. It can't even walk yet. It's still crawling on the floor. This one's starting to walk. I would be watching this one now. Plus, if I remember, it seems to me 2 years ago, Toner had a lot of activity. For some reason, I remember Toner had a lot of attention being given to it a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, she wasn't always a dead duck.
No, it wasn't. I mean, we were up here at the 002s back in September of like 2 years ago. September 2022.
So those are in the charts. Those are supports and resistances. That's a 400% gain. And it doesn't take 2 years to get back up there. Once she starts to run, once she starts throwing around the word AI and we're doing this and we're not doing that, and it makes the shareholders feel good, you could get a big surge on this. You really could. And it doesn't seem to bother it having so many bloody shares. It is climbing.
Yeah, I mean, this is the 5-minute. So there you go. I mean, it did finally move. It was just stuck here. And then it came up. And now we're at this next tier. And it's quite amazing because, I mean, you get in at 0002, and then we're up here at 0006. That's what, 200%? 300%. Excuse me.
300% run, 200% gains. All right, you see what we got there. It's one to watch, folks. We're not going to spend any more time on a 000 stock. There's only so much you can say about those charts. But it was nice to see that she has not been down on the floor forever like so many of these. She was flying up there for a while ago. I remember. I don't remember why. All right, next stock. I am familiar with this one. That is to say, I've got my information at hand. This is NGCG, New Generation Consumer Group. She finished today at 0018 with 20% gains. She is on the pink limited tier. That's bad news. That means she's late on one or more of her financials. And if she does not get them in time, she'll be yanked off of the OTC and thrown down to the expert market. Not a delisting, it's a timeout. It's a penalty box. You go down there until you get those financials in and caught up. Once they are, you're back on the open market. If you're invested in them, you go down into timeout with them. You can't do anything with your shares until they come out of there, which is why we are very worried about any stock on Pink Limited. They're on that slippery hill. And you know when they're falling because grace period shows up right here in yellow. Grace period gives them 15 days and then they're gone. They got 15 days, but it doesn't give you a date. So you've got to come over here to quote, click that and scroll down and it'll say proprietary. And right there it says grace period, final date, and it'll tell you the day. So we always keep our eyes on these. So what is this company about? Well, I was reading this and I thought, oh, so that's what they do. And then I continued reading. It's like, really? The company's main activity is in merging with companies in the biotech, medical, and pharmaceutical sectors, which already have high growth potential and solid revenues. All right, I get that. But they are also creating the largest online business school in Latin America and Florida, applying artificial intelligence. Of course, you got to get that in there, as well as acquiring several restaurants and billboards, billiards rooms throughout the East Coast of the United States. So you can play pool, you can go to restaurants, you can learn business. I mean, they're doing a lot now. And I'm not quite sure where they are on each one of those stages. So what information have we got to look at? Well, I found this interesting. This is all the way back in 2016. That's all the news we got. There is no news on this company, not here, not on Google, not at my backup site. They have no Twitter account. There is no news anywhere, which is very frustrating. So the only thing you then get are their filings and their financials. That's it. So I was looking at this, and they tell us back in 2016, the company had made a joint venture partnership with Victory Resource for an urban mining venture. And then 3 months later, they tell us that Canashia 420 was to be acquired by New Generation Consumers. So that's what we're looking at. They were getting into businesses, what is that, 8 years ago? A while ago. So why do I bring that up? All right, I am over here at the only piece of information we can get. This is why. Right there. People fly by this and they don't read. Each one of these check marks are vital. Indicate by check whether there was a change of control. Yes. Yes, there is a change of control. This is the most recent financial that came out May 16th, 2023. Now, in short, I can't find any information. I can't find any deals, any acquisitions, any large share purchases. I can't find an SD, SG13. I can't find anything to see who is in charge now. What else did I find? Well, it'll be in yellow. Let's see here. One other piece of information. This is exactly what we just got done reading at the start, but they've added one thing here. They also have several real estate properties in top locations in Southern Europe. It's more. The only other thing I could find here was that. Now, to most of you, that don't mean anything. Karen Courier, she's still associated with this company. Karen Courier was a big name back in, 3 years ago when the SEC changed the rules. Okay, this is how it went down. That last stimulus check we had, February 2021, the markets exploded. The dead arose. We had companies that hadn't had financials in 10 years, had no management whatsoever. The stock hadn't moved in 5 years, went thousands of percent gains. And then they crashed. And that made it aware to everybody what was going on. By September of 2021, over 1,200 companies had been yanked off of the market in one day. I think it was September 9th or something. They yanked them all off, put them on the expert market. Shopper's paradise for Karen Courier. She went and found certain expert companies that have nobody. They're just boats floating on the water. She went to the courts and got custodialship over a bunch of them, which doesn't mean she owns them, but she has control. She cleaned them up. She got all their filings taken care of at her own expense, then got them on the market as pinks, and then got them deals, got them making money. You want a good example? ILUS, ILUS. Karen Courier, she was all about that. She is the one that got that one flying, and she's got her name on a bunch of them, and she's still associated with this company. Just thought you'd like to know. I don't think there's anything else here except to show you a bunch of zeros. Look at all them bloody zeros. There's nothing here. Zero assets. So even coming into their financials, we see there is nothing here whatsoever. Taking a look at the relative volume, huge jump. Going from 2 million to over 11 million. That is more than a 500% increase in volume today. Share structure, pretty high. 1.3 billion outstanding. It's pretty much an even split here. The insiders get the bigger piece of the pie, 683 million. We get the smaller share, 638 million. It's not a low float by any means, but at least it's evenly spread out. Financials for NGZ, as we've seen over there, they got nothing. The balance sheet should look just the same. Nothing. All we can say here is, though they have no assets, their liabilities are only $10,000, not 10 million. I can understand paying yourself and having a $10,000 deficit at the end of the year. Obviously, they're in they're in poverty if that's all they're doing. But that's all we've got over here. There is nothing to actually see. And I don't think there's any disclosures outside what we've just shared. No, look at that. 2005 is the last one. So that is the big deal here, is that there are no filings to tell me who's in charge. What's their business now? I see they
I'm
made
curious to know, is there a future for this company, or because that would determine whether I would get in this or not. But
well, first off, they call
just
themselves
curious.
a shell risk, which means they're claiming they have a business, but
Okay.
they're not showing any revenues or assets. They
Gotcha.
should be just a shell company, right? And that would be okay, because you wouldn't have Pink Limited because you weren't doing it. Pink shells are a little different. And then you're set up for a merger. And that's what we're looking at next, folks. I just got done telling you that the SEC made a big change in 2021 because of all those dead companies on the market. Well, they're making another change this year, and they told us about it way last year. 2024 September, all these shell companies will have new criteria. I think it's going to be a lot like a SPAC. They're going to have a time limit.
Okay.
You're a shell company, you've got 18 to 24 months to cut a deal, or you're out of here.
Is that what the Pink Limited means, to remind everyone and me what the Pink Limited?
Pink Limited means they are late on their financials.
Gotcha.
Here, I'm glad you reminded me. They're
Yeah.
having a hell of a time with their financials. This is for the period they filed for. This is when they filed. Well, look here. March 2023, March 2023, March. You only need to put it in once, and they got it a revision here, a revision, a second revision, another revise.
Basically, it makes it look like they're doing more, but it's really the same thing.
Well, they're in trouble. First off, they got no assets. They got no revenues. How hard can your books be? How hard can it be to file a zero? And here we've got problems. And it looks like they've got nothing for June. They've got nothing for September. And obviously now we've got the annual coming out for 12/23. So they are 3 of them behind. I don't think they're going to catch up. I don't think so. That's just my feeling. That's a lot to have behind, and they can't even get this one right. And they've got 3 of them to do. The other thing that confused me is this right here, that attorney letter. That attorney letter is for March. Well, you can see March is a quarterly report. You don't put attorney letters with quarterly reports. You only have to put an attorney letter with an annual. Your annual will not be approved without an attorney letter because you don't have a CPA. So you got to have somebody with authority, not over the numbers, but at least the information, the text. And that's what that's there for. Well, that's the wrong filing. So this looks like a spaghetti mess to me. I don't like it at all. So I would be very leery about this company. It looks like she's getting too close to the edge and is probably going to end up down at the expert and get stuck there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's take a look at the chart for NGCG.
All right, so don't panic. This is the daily chart, and this is dating back to May or April of 2021. So we had a high of about 9 cents. Now we're down here at the 00 level. So let me go. Now, this is the exact same ticker, but look at this. The difference here is this is the 1 hour. So as you can see, we've got higher highs, higher highs, higher highs, higher highs. This looks pretty good. But the overall picture does not look good. In fact, it looks really scary, but it does look like we're kind of like looping back and kind of coming back up. Maybe this is a cup and handle-ish.
That does look like a big cup and handle, doesn't it?
Could be. Now, but see, this level right here, I pointed out because this was a support for a good while. Okay, this is the 4 hours. See how
it's there.
Here? And now we're here again. So I want to see it hold above that. And maybe we can get up here into the 002 area. In fact, I'd really like this at the 0027 area, because this was the high spiked up here. This was way back in July, but this was a big resistance. It just did not like that, and then tumbled right back down to this one, which was 0019. And now we're back at that level. So we could see some push up to this 0027 area if we hold above this. I mean, it's a potential from what I'm seeing on this.
Now, as I say, folks, we're always looking for 2 things, a hot chart and a catalyst. You definitely got yourself a hot chart there.
I like this. I like how this is climbing on the 1 hour a lot.
We didn't see a catalyst. We didn't see anything. We saw old news. The only thing that stirred me up was the change of control. And that just opened up more questions I couldn't get answers to. They've got no assets. They got no money. What is the catalyst? That is my fear. I want a coin printed on both sides. Actually, I'll take a coin printed on one side. That would be worth more than one printed on both sides. But when it comes to this, I want heat in my chart and I want a catalyst. Momentum is good, but I mean, what's carrying it?
So there's nothing from September or anything? September, that was just a few months ago.
2016. That's the last news we got. That's
Google.
I went to Google in 2017. I found.
I believe you. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. Because we do have these random spikes in volume, but we are up here at this 0019 now. I like that level a lot. I'd really like to see it claim that and hold above that, because we saw that action here. So, kind of looks like one giant cup and handle forming, possibly. I mean, I do like this.
As I said, those dead companies in 2021, they had no catalyst. They were just running because people made them run. This is running now for reasons unknown. Now, there may be a reason out there. I'm not going to say I spent 2 hours looking, but I did search Twitter. I did search Google. I did search my backup, which is real good for news, and the OTC. We've looked at the filings. I don't know. So, yeah, she's running. She's looking good, but I'd be leery because without a catalyst, you have no idea, except to say, what's the stock worth if they have no assets? What's the stock worth? I mean, they have nothing going on, and it's taking on value as if it does. I love to play day trades, but you got to be cautious when you can't see everything around you. A lot of blind spots with this stock. Chart looks nice. I do like it, but a lot of blind spots. Oh, you ready for me? I'm ready for you. Hold on.
Ready.
There we go. All right. We are going to now look at a second one for Kashira. She always brings us two, and I normally only get to one. We're going to look at DPLS. Don't worry, Jerome. I got time for you, pal. Promise. This is DPLS, Dart Pulse. I do own this one. I've owned this one for a while. I really believe in this company, but she's getting beat up like Eyeless. There's a lot of good companies out there doing solid business. They're around the world doing their business, and still they're falling. Can't explain it. So Dark Pulse, she finished today at 00115. She was up 21% today. Finished today, I already said that. She's on the pink tier, current. Got both those pieces of verified information. So that all looks great. Taking a look at what this company does. They've got this strange technology. Matter of fact, let me do it this way because this is actually a better description. Dark Pulse's patented sensor technologies enable the monitoring of highly dynamic environments like buildings, train tracks, tunnels, pipelines, all that sort of stuff, infrastructure. Due to its greater resolution and accuracy coupled with industry-leading data collection speeds, the resulting high-speed, real-time monitoring capabilities of Dark Pulse Solutions satisfies a broad range of existing emerging requirements. They use this in the mining industry, the aircraft industry, looking for cracks before the eyeball can see them. This thing can go across all the surfaces and find fractures and cracks and heating ups and temperatures and stuff like that. So you are aware of a problem way before it happens, which is excellent. And in this country, we need it. Most of our bridges are so old. Every single day, more than one bridge collapses in America. Every single day. So yeah, this sort of business is good. So what did I have over here? Well, this was news that came out about a week ago. The company has made 2 acquisitions. They bought it from Optilin UK. They got Optilin India, which is an engineering group that designs installations across multiple different sectors, including rail, oil and gas, telecom, and most importantly, distributed fiber optic sensor systems. The other subsidiary they got is Optilin Communications and Security Systems, who has played a key role in the projects such as the Trans-Annulation natural gas pipeline and maintains services for one of the world's largest pipelines and operators in the world. The Turkish-based company is also responsible for multiple contracts across the Middle East, including Libya and Iraq. The companies plan to expand operations through India as well as open operations in Europe, the United Arab Emirates, and Oman as part of its global expansion plan. Recent news reports related to oil and gas infrastructure developments throughout both regions are attractive to Dark Pulse. That's what's going on. They're over there in the Arab nations. They're getting a lot of attention. There's a lot of money over there. They've just gotten two subsidiaries working over there in the Arab nations, and those companies have got lots of contacts. So the door is opening up for them big time over there. What else I got set aside here for us? News. Look at that. All right. We just looked at that piece of news that came out here on the 5th, but I wanted you to see these two pieces of news that came out in 2021. Notice, Dark Pulse signs commercial collaboration, heads of terms with global AI company, Unleash Live. The company announces letters of intent to acquire both drone-based AI companies, Remote Intelligence and Wildlife Specialists. Folks, that was 2021. These companies were getting into AI before AI was getting into us. I think that's before ChatGPT. I do believe so. So this company has been ahead of the game silently. This is a dark horse, Dark Pulse. All right, so what was the relative volume around the company today? About double, going from 29 million to 55 million. Share structure, God, man. All these companies have had to dilute to craziness just to keep alive. We have almost 8 billion shares outstanding. That scares the hell out of me. The insiders own about 500 million. Unrestricted shares, the float, we got about 7.5 billion of them. Ow. Market cap for this company, 7.5 million. Financials, I'm expecting to see some money here. Well, yeah, over the last 2 years, 2021, they were at 7.5 million roughly. They just crested 9 million. But what the hell happened there? That just got my advertising cut in half. You swear once, you lose half your advertising. We dropped from 1 million profit to negative 5 million. This deserves some more research. I don't know what's going on there. And since I own it, I will be looking into it. Quarterly reports, well, they're all over the place. Losing big money, losing a little, getting a little. They made $82,000 the last quarter, and they got to keep 79,000 of it. Woo! Only spent 3,000 for that. Balance sheet. Let's see something pretty. 64,000 in the bank, 6.5 million in assets, 23 million in liabilities. God, that gives us $16.5 million that us shareholders are holding. That's not on the company, folks. That's on us. So what's the price worth? It should be a negative number. That's why it's so low. What else we got here? Financials disclosures. Did we cover those? 1-3. Did I cover an 8K? I don't believe we looked at an 8K. Let me see here. Let me check my quick notes here. DPLS, no splits. Well, there's something interesting. This company has not had any splits since 1996. They've been adding shares. They just haven't pulled any of them back. And speaking of that, how many do they have in the authorized? Oh, God. They got 20 billion. So they can just keep putting shares on the market. They can put all those on the market. Never do a reverse split. Until they get assets, there just isn't any value here in this company. And I own it. What was the other thing we could get from there? Right. This was just a disclosure. Nothing important going on there for us. So I do believe that covers everything. I see they're doing a lot over in Arabia areas. They've got 2 subsidiaries. Those companies are working with other big companies. It really looks good. But we need to see some money coming in. We need to see some revenues. We need to see the assets growing. That's what's hurting this company as an investor. Now, as a day trader, all we need is a hot catalyst and a hot chart. I see we've got some heat in the news. We got stuff going on. What's that chart look like, Taylor?
Not too great, but don't panic yet. This is the daily chart, and we're going back to like mid 2021. So we got lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. So let's zoom in a little bit though.
And what was the high back there in 2021?
It was
Like
at
21
about
cents?
20 cents.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Let
Mm-hmm.
me go back to this one. So this is the 1 hour. As you
Ooh,
can see, yeah, it's
that's
getting
looking
there.
right.
Yeah, I'm looking at, I just marked off some areas. So this is like 0009, 001. Now we're in the double zeros at least, so that's good. I mean, you can see what's been going on the 1 hour. Just, we'll hit
She's
something.
trying to break out, but
It's finally starting. Yeah.
that
Um,
200 is still steep. It isn't showing any signs of planing out.
no, it's been a steep drop here.
Yeah, and that concerns me. I'm sure she's just going to come back down. She needs a big rip up, even if it's for 30 seconds. She's got to get a tag way above the 200 to tug that 200 up. Until the
Yeah,
price gets over the 200, it's never going to start to rise.
right. Because here we've got like what, one, two, at least two golden crosses here. So I mean, we have seen
Yep,
some movement. I
yep.
mean, from 0009 all the way up to 0013. I mean, that's what, approximately 50% gain. Not quite 50%, but
Closing in on it. So
almost. I
she's
mean,
in the position to watch. I
yeah,
mean, it's like standing at a crosswalk and the light is flashing. You know, watch. It's about ready to do something. And she's
good.
obviously made a move here recently. The excitement is building up. I don't see a lot of volume there, though. It's not showing off anything, but the
Really.
price is moving and she's broke out over that 200.
Yeah.
That's the best you can hope for. We got a little catalyst and we've got a hot chart. It's
Yep.
worth putting on your watch list.
Hey, next.
Next, I can do that. All right, we are getting to Belmore's. I remembered because we couldn't get the ticker right on this one. So this is EARI, Erie. Let's just call it Erie. 0009. Ooh, had a good day. Jumping from 0005 up to 0009. She has an 80% increase today. She's on the pink tier and current and got both of those green ticks, so she's looking really nice. So we've got some news here. Is this all current? It is current, and there's quite a lot of news here. Now, this is the one that caught my attention. All right, I'm going to read this news, and then I'm going to read the most recent news, and you tell me what you think is going on. So we are back here. I have gone all the way back to 2022. The company signs production deal with Kid Fit Strong for media platforms. The company acquires Blossom Botanical Water brand. The company concludes largest acquisition to date, bringing Original New York Seltzer and LA Bottle Works as wholly owned subsidiaries into the company portfolio. The company acquires Perfecto Mundo Tequila. The company applies for a name change to the Original New York Seltzer Beverage Corporation. That was in March of last year. And then the most recent piece of news that just came out here, shareholder update. You can't see nothing, so let's jump on into this. Are you ready? On January 8th, the company disclosed a significant strategic decision to unwind all recent acquisitions. Everything done backwards. What? Now, I dove into this to try to get more information. What do you mean you're unwinding? What are you unwinding? You got a lot of deals here, some sweet deals. New York Seltzer, I see that in virtually every store I go into. Well, all I could see was the unwinding of recent acquisitions and licensing agreements allows the company to refocus its efforts on the aspects of the beverage industry. Now, that poses a question. Half of these deals over here were with beverages. Kid Fit Strong media platform? Maybe not, unless they're selling beverages to kids. Botanical water, New York Seltzer, tequila. These are all water drinks. So what exactly are they unwinding? I'm not sure. They don't break it down here. They just say they are working on the beverage industry, and that's it. There's no more. So they tell us they are unwinding all of these deals, but they're going to focus on beverages. So more due diligence just to clarify what the heck they actually mean is going to need to be done here. So taking a look at the relative volume, it was exciting. Everybody's happy. She jumped about 400%, going from 20 to 86 million shares. Share structure. Okay, we got 1 billion authorized. Half of that is on the market. Insiders own 88 million. We get all the rest, 483 million. Market cap. Ooh, God, look at that market cap, $286,000. Financials. Is this company making money? Wow. Yeah, they are. And I'm not going to complain about this one. She jumped from 1.2 million to 8.4 million year over year, going from 11,000 in profit to 4.6 million in profit. That's good. Quarterlies. Oh, what happened? She was doing great. 3.7, 3.6, 2.2, 1.2. 58. What? And she made $5,000 the last quarter. I don't know, folks. We're going to have to do some more research here. It was all looking good annually. Money in the bank, about 35,000. Assets, 35.5 million. Oh, good, good. Only 8.7 million in liabilities. So we do have positive shareholder equity in this company. We, the shareholders, are holding $26 million. How are we holding it? In those shares right there, folks. You want to figure out what it's worth? Take that share structure over here. Take all those shares right there and multiply it times. No, sorry. Take all those shares right there and divide that into that number, that stockholder equity, and that'll give you a asset value, stockholder equity value for the stock price. People use a lot of different formulas to say what the stock should be worth. That's a pretty direct one. This is the assets that the shareholders hold, and this is how many shares there are. Divide it. That's what the shares are worth. That's what I like to use. Disclosures, I think we probably popped over here. No, we didn't, but there's nothing since 2022, and all of their filings are caught up. So that basically covers everything here, folks. They obviously are focusing in. They have a plan. I'm going to presume that they're keeping the tequila deal, the New York seltzer deal. They say they're changing their name. Are they still? We need to jump into a most recent filing and just go through that information. Even use your search bar. It'll make it a lot easier. Put in, New York seltzer or split or consolidation, merger, acquisition, any of those words, and it'll find it for you wherever it is, no matter how big it is. And you can get to the bottom of this. So let's take a look at the chart for EARI, Erie.
Okay, so this is the daily chart looking at just the overall picture from, 2-3 years ago. So yeah, it's kind of scary when you look at it like this because we're seeing a high of 22 cents and 18 cents and 10 cents, 6 cents. In this area, we had some consolidation here for a while, and it tried to jump out. We got back in and stayed there until it dumped off.
And what's that price? Yeah.
This is between about 2.5 cents and 4 cents. So let me go over to this other one. It's the same ticker. So this is what we're dealing with now. I marked this one off January 8th because that was that important thing that you were reading. So this is what happened that day. We did have a lot of green volume. We reached a high of 001 that day. So that was good. I'd like to see us reclaim that. Maybe we can, maybe get on a little run here. So this is what the 1 hour looks like. So we have some potential here. We're getting up to this area where we had that, where the news was. Not quite, but you can see this is starting to flatten out. It's still going down, but I think with a little bit more up to the 001, if we can get into the 00 area, I think this might have a lot more potential. But what do you think?
I think she's looking sad. I think she needs a lot of help. I mean, she's showing a push right now. That's nice, but she's hitting that same strong resistance. The only thing that looks juicy is that the 200 is getting closer, and that has a magnet on it. Why? Because when traders see it getting close to the 200, more people start to watch it. That's what makes it interesting. So it is at a point to where she's being considered. I do see a nice jump there. She did come off of a low, but she's worthy of putting on the watch. I wouldn't advise making any purchases yet until she got over that 200. I would want to see her break up over it. And she probably isn't going to just run. You know, she's going to get over it and come back down and tap on it a few times, make sure it's strong enough to build on, and then she'll start climbing. After that first or second tap, I'd feel better. Right now, it's watch list worthy, absolutely, especially at that price. And since she's been up to those better prices, we know she can get there.
Yep. So that's about it for that.
Ta-da. All right, Jerome, you're up, buddy. Jerome has asked us to take a look at SAML. So what the hell am I doing over here at ILUS? Because they go hand in hand, folks. Samsara Luggage finished today at 4.5 cents roughly. She went up almost 21%. She's on the pink tier, got all that validated information, looking really good. So what does this company do? Well, they don't do it anymore. Whatever it was, they don't do it anymore because that's why I had ILUS up. ILUS acquired this company, and they did it for a very specific reason. They needed a shell, a vehicle. They are spinning out emergency response technologies, ticker ERT, onto the NASDAQ, and they needed something to put it in. So they got SAML, and that's going into SMAL. And of course, we're going to get dividends for that. There is no updates over here. I went through the news. There are no pieces of news fresh telling us anything advancing or progressing. I checked their filings. Nothing over here either. The last one is the purchase of the stock from ILUS of SAML. It's here and over there as well. And then even looking over at Sam, there's nothing here either. So we have no new news. I don't know where they're at in it. I'm sure it's progressing. I'm sure everything's going along as it should. Bureaucracy being as it is, it takes time. So really, it is all about the chart right now because this is going to be making a move. Once they get this transition done, this stock's going to the NASDAQ. And you've got to be $3 to be on the NASDAQ. And what's our price right now for this stock? 4 cents. So how do you get to the NASDAQ without having the stock be $3? You got to do a reverse split, don't you? I mean, there's no way they can throw extra value on there to get it up there. That's the only way you can do it. We have to bid it up or they've got to do a reverse split. And how many shares? And I think, weren't you telling me, Taylor, they did a huge split?
Yes. In March of 2021, a 1 for 7,000.
There you go. So there was one right there. And that brought it down. Now we can probably see that corporate change right here. Let's see. Yeah, one in 2021 and a forward split. Oh, I'd love to be a part of that. Those must have been good days. So this is that last split. And right now we have got 7.5 billion shares authorized, 164 million. They don't have enough shares to do a reverse split. I mean, that would have to go up. That's 25, 375. That would have to go up 1 in 75 reverse split. I mean, they could do it, right? They could do it. That would give us about 2.5 million outstanding, which would definitely bring the float down, way down, hopefully not under 1 million, because that would be a problem. They'd have to do a public offering. So it is possible. They do have enough shares here to do a reverse split to get to the NASDAQ. But, yeah, they've got to. That's the only way I can see it. Maybe there's another way around it. I don't know. But there's going to be a lot of attention on this particular stock. ILUS obviously is going to be getting a lot of attention, but this is the one that's going to get the new spin out. This is the one that's going to give us dividends. This is the one going to the NASDAQ. So this is going to be traveling a lot. You may want to get a nice comfortable seat. So as I said, no new news, but we do have a chart. So let's go over to Taylor's neck of the woods and see what she can show us.
Okay. So this is the daily chart. I tried to go back as far as possible. So just to see what was going on, like this scary thing.
Right.
So when you look at it and this says 300, you don't think that you're going to buy something for 4 cents and it's going to go up to $300, okay? Because this has this. Come on. So
Did they adjust this chart then?
obviously, because that doesn't
Yes,
even
the
make any
adjusted
sense.
charts on the day of the split, you normally have a big green bar. You won't see it anymore on an adjusted chart. That's how you know it's adjusted. And what's that mean? Well, rather than show the price jumping 7,000 times on one bar, they multiply everything in the history,
Right.
everything by that number. So that price she just told you, that high, you got to divide that by
Divide it by
7,000
7,000. Yep,
to get to
exactly.
the real number. And all the charts, no matter what platform you're on, has adjusted the chart. So that's fraudulent information, no doubt. And for those that don't know they do this, poor them, huh?
Yeah, this is on, and this is TradingView, by the way, if anyone's curious, and they will adjust the chart. And even if it's before the split, that price was not the price that it was before the split. It adjusts on the basis of what it would be if the split had occurred from the get-go, if that makes sense. So that's why it's going to look really funky around that time. The highs are going to be super, super high
But
on a reverse split.
everything from the split to today, that's all real. No
Right.
adjustments. You can read that as factual information.
Correct. Yeah, so I was kind of looking at this area. This is the 4 hour, and it looks like we once we broke down below 3 cents, it just, I mean, free fall until we're in the double zero area, and now we're back up into this 3 to 4 cent range, and we did come up above it, and now it looks like it closed like right at there. I would like to see this go above. Especially like above 4.5 cents, so we
Oh,
can
heck
maybe
yeah.
get moving. But it is moving. When these big volume. You said you couldn't find. Did you say you had news or not from the 10th of January, or was that something else?
From the
Yes,
10th
now.
of January?
Yeah.
No. Oh, yeah, the 10th. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had news
Ninth
come out
and
on the
10th.
9th.
Oh,
On the
the
9th.
ninth. Yeah.
Yeah,
So right. So here's the ninth. Someone knew something the day before because
they always
you know
do.
because there was a lot of price action going on here. That's
Yeah.
it's a little suspicious. But the next couple days we had a lot of volume, and we had, we open here, close here, open here, close here. This is higher highs, higher lows. This is good. And so now we're just kind of in this area. I want to see this push above 4.5 cents so we can maybe, we are above this is the daily, again, by the way, we are above all of the EMAs now. So that is good on the daily charts. And the one
That's
hour
neat.
looks really good too.
Yeah,
We're
that
above all of
4
them.
hour looked luscious.
And
That's a
yeah,
chart I would share.
right here. Yeah. See, they're all in line. This is 921.50, 200. So
Yeah,
this
she
1
keeps
hour chart.
catching that same resistance and she's
Yeah.
climbing, pushing towards it. That's all you can hope for. That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Looking
Yeah.
real good. I like this chart, and I think it's definitely worth one.
I
I'm
like
going to
it
look a
too.
little more into this one.
I
But
like
then
it too.
there's not a whole lot more to look at. It is a
Right.
waiting game here. So it's
Mm-hmm.
anticipation driving this stock right now. It is.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I didn't realize we were past 5 o'clock. I see we've got other tickers here. Gotti brought us Curl. Gotti also brought us Glick. And Jimmy Jean brought us Guys. Is that a ticker? Hi, guys. I gotcha. I'm just being silly. He did bring us one, ENTEF. I think we've looked at that one before, Taylor. That sounds vaguely familiar. Sticky Man got here late. It was with Lex Friedman, and it was just them in VR interviewing. Oh, see, I told you we lost viewers, Taylor. Told you some of them were over there. Hey, that's okay. Go where it's hot. Information is what this is all about. Deep FN value. Appreciate you showing up. AMC fair values 13. Uh-oh, you've gone out of my neck of the woods. $13 RSI destroyed on the daily and weekly. Could see a run to $7 or $8. I'm going to have to check into that. I just got confused. Is it under 7 or 8 right now? Oh, right. Fair value is 13. Yeah, we only look at stocks up to $5, though occasionally we'll break that rule, but not often, not too often. Oh my God, look at you guys still coming in here. Perma Bull, Moon Man, AMC to the moon. Guys, you got the wrong show. I never talk about AMC unless she comes under $5. Bring it to me on that day. We'll check her out. More talk about AMC. DPLS, MIDI. Snookeroo brought us MIDI. Folks, you got a lot of great stocks here. I know that Curl, KULR, definitely. That is another one of those legitimate companies like ILS, DPLS. They've got solid technology, solid contracts, working with NASA, working with the government. Definitely somebody you need to take a look at, folks. Not familiar with Glick? I'll take a look at that. If you're bringing that with your other one, it's probably a pretty decent one too, Gotti. Thank you, folks, for coming. I do appreciate you being here. We try to look as many stocks as we can, but time is always a consideration. And when you bring me your stocks, bring Taylor and I your stocks, do me a favor, if you can. If you know a reason that we should be looking at it, you know a catalyst, you know something going on like the man just did with AMC, give me a heads up. It'll help us to be able to focus in on that rather than just kind of meandering around looking for it. I want to give you the most that I can, but we got to cover a few, more than a few, if at all possible. You got anything you want to say to our good guest today, Taylor?
I think you covered it all.
Of course I did.
I'm just glad to be back. I'm glad that I'm back. I know I was here last week, that there was a week in January that I wasn't here. I'm glad to be back now. So
yeah, but I couldn't replace you. There was nobody good enough to replace you.
I saw that. I felt so bad.
It's okay. We managed. We managed. Thank you, folks. Honestly, I love you being here. We'll see you next week, Thursday, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Remember, if you got a ticker you want me to look at, I put the placeholder for this video up around noon. So you can drop your tickers early. That gives me lots of time to go over the information and do some serious DD so I know what I'm talking about. See you then. I know what to do.